Welcome back, Math 8. Today we are going to work on creating the slope-intercept equation from a table. So go ahead, take a second, grab something to write with and something to write on, and try out your warm-up. Let's begin. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a minute to do your warm-up. Go ahead, pause the video, fill out what you need to, and then when you're ready to check it, go ahead and press play. All right, so as you can see, I have taken our words and I have put them into math. Go ahead and check that answer. All right, our goal for today says that I can construct the slope-intercept equation from a table. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Our learn or write responsibility today is going to be work towards success with any of your peers. So the first thing that I want you to do is look at the table and find the pattern. From there, identify the slope, and then see if you can figure out what that beginning point is, what the y-intercept is, and if you can write the slope-intercept equation. I'm going to give you a moment, pause the video, and see how much of that you can figure out on your own. Okay, so let's look at this. Right, so finding the pattern isn't new for us, right? We go from here to here, here to here, here to here, and we figure out what that difference is. So to go from -2 to 0, we're going to add 2. 0 to 2, we're going to add 2. And then 2 to 4, we're going to add 2, just like we did before. And because all of my x values have a difference of the same thing, all of my y values need to have a same value as well. So let's go ahead and check it. From -5 to -4, we're going to add 1. From -4 to -3, we will also add 1. And -3 to -2, we're going to add 1. So I've helped you out with the pattern. Figure out the slope. All right, so as you can see, I wrote down that our slope, remember, is rise over run, which is the same thing as the change in y over the change in x. Which means that the difference of our y values, our y pattern, needs to go on top, which was 1, and our x pattern needs to go on the bottom, which is 2, so our slope is going to be 1/2, and I'm going to say that that equals m, because remember that m is slope. Now, you were also asked to find the beginning point. Now, we need to remember that our beginning point always has x with 0, because that's where it's going to cross our y-axis. And I can see right here that my x value is 0. So my beginning point is right smack dab in the table for me. So I'm just going to call it BP for beginning point. And we're going to say that it's at 0, -4. Which means that my y-intercept, my b value, is going to equal -4. So now I have my slope and I have my y-intercept. Let's write that slope-intercept equation. So remember, we've got y equals mx plus b as our slope-intercept equation. And we're going to take our slope and replace it for m. And we're going to take our b and replace it for b. And so we end up with the equation y equals 1/2 x minus 4. Not so bad. So now, ooh, that's really small. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Just enough so we can still see it. I want you to find the pattern again and find the slope and the beginning point and the y-intercept, and then write down that slope-intercept equation. I'm just kidding. That's a lot of numbers, and we don't really need to find the pattern. I am going to personally tell you that this is a linear equation, which means that all of my points are straight. It's going to create a straight line. So instead of having to find the pattern, I'm just going to go straight to slope. And so we have this new equation that we're going to learn, and it's just the slope equation. So we say that m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x sub 1. And if you remember, these subscripts are just saying that they are a place value. They're telling you it's the second y value minus the first y value divided by the second x value minus the first x value. right? So it's nothing super complicated, but this is the formula that we use. We're just taking the difference of two ordered pairs. So we need to choose two ordered pairs, and I don't care which two you choose. You can pick any two ordered pairs in this list. I am personally going to choose 0, 34, because I also know that that is my beginning point. And I'm going to choose, let's use pink, 426, because it's close. So why not? So because I already found the beginning point, I'm just gonna go ahead and write that down as 0, 34. So it crosses my y-axis at 34. It's really high. We don't want to graph this one. But so I'm going to write down my ordered pairs. So I'm going to say 0, 34 and 426. These are the two ordered pairs I chose. You can choose any of them that you want. These were the two that I personally just wanted to pick. So we need to remember that our x values go first and our y values go second. So when we do our y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, it doesn't actually matter which y value you start with. If you want, you can do 34 minus 26 up top, and that's totally fine, because 34 minus 26 just looks a lot easier. But just know that if 34 goes first on top, the 0 here has to go first on the bottom. So I have to say 0 minus 4. I have to. We have to keep that order. So 34 minus 26 is going to give me 8. And 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Now our rule of thumb is always, always, always that if you have a fraction, you must reduce. You cannot leave this as 8 over negative 4. So I absolutely know that 8 divided by negative 4 is just negative 2. So I'm going to write that down. And I'm just going to again remind myself that this is my m. I'm going to give it a little cloud so that when I go back later, I know where to find it. Now, I told you that you can do 34 minus 26 if you want, or instead we can say that we're going to start with this 26 and we're going to do 26 minus 34. That is absolutely acceptable. If our 26 goes first on top, then our 4 has to go first on bottom. It just has to. We have to keep that order. So this time 26 minus 34 is going to give me negative 8 over 4 minus 0 is 4. And so I still need to reduce, and negative 8 divided by a positive 4 is still negative 2, which, as we said earlier, was our slope. So it doesn't matter which one you make your y2 and your y1, but you have to keep the correct x value from the ordered pair that you start with. That's the only thing that matters. So we found our slope, we found our beginning point. I'm going to write my slope up here since it asks for it, just so that I have it all organized. Now we need to find the y-intercept. And we need to remember our y-intercept is just the y value of our beginning point. So I'm just going to say that our y-intercept is 34. So let's put all of this into our slope-intercept equation, shall we? So remember, we have y equals mx plus b. We replace our m, so we have y equals negative 2x, and we replace our b, which was 34. So y equals negative 2x plus 34 is the line that was used to get all of these points. All right, I hope you have it all because we're moving on. All right, so now you try. Way less points to choose, but remember you only need to pick 2 and it doesn't matter which 2 you pick. So go ahead, take a minute, try this problem out, pause the video, and check back when you're done. All right, here is the solution. Go ahead, take a moment to check it out and see if you got it correct. There it is right there. I'll circle it for you. Remember, our whole point of the lesson is that we're finding the equation. All right. So let's kick this up a notch. I want you to find the slope, the y-intercept, and the equation. I'm going to give you a moment to try your best and fail gloriously. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, so as you can see, I've already found the slope because we've gone over this part before. But what's a little bit different this time is that we have this double negative right here. We have a negative times a negative, and we know that that ends up being a positive. So instead of it being negative 31 minus negative 36, it changes to negative 31 plus 36. So I get a slope of 5/4. Now, the part where we're going to fail gloriously is finding that y-intercept because it's not there. As you can see, there's no spot in here where x equals 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to remind ourselves of our y equals mx plus b. We have our m. We need to solve for b. And guess what? We have 4 different x and y values to choose from. So pick a point, any point that you want. It doesn't matter. I am going to just randomly choose to use the point negative 20, negative 21. Why? Because I just felt like it. Negative 20 is my x, negative 21 is my y. I'm going to scroll a bit so we have some room. And I'm going to replace the information that I have in for my parts of my slope intercept form. So I'm going to, let's change color. Say my y value, so my y is going to be negative 21 equals m, which we said was 5/4, times my x value of negative 20. I'm going to put it as negative 20 over 1 since we're multiplying a fraction, plus b, because that's the unknown that we're trying to solve. So now I have negative 21 equals, all right, I'm going to do a little bit of cross simplification here. 5 and 1, those diagonals can't be reduced, so I'm going to leave them. But 4 and negative 20 can both be reduced by 4. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into negative 20, negative 5 times, and I'm now going to just multiply straight across. So 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. 1 times 1 is over 1, so I'm just going to leave that, plus b. I'm going to add 25 to both sides of that equal sign, and I end up with b equals, not a 2, b equals 4. Give it my little beautiful cloud, and I'm going to put my equation together. I'll do it over here. So y equals my slope times x plus 4. All right, so here is our last problem. Go ahead, pause the video, and try it out. All right, so I moved my graph down just a little bit so that you guys could see all my work. But as you can see, I picked the points 1540 and 1849. I got a slope of 3. And then when I did my equation to find b, I chose the point 1540 just because I felt like it. I did that math and I got that b equaled negative 5. So my equation is y equals 3x minus 5. I hope you guys got that one as well. All right, so this is the end of our lesson. I want you to focus on one part of today's lesson that you felt confident on, and then one part of today's lesson that you feel like you need more support. And then go back and watch those videos if you do. And if not, reach out to your teacher and see how they can help you some more. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you later. Love you. Bye.